points tested visas. Calculate your points. Moment of truth. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Australia series. In the last video, we spoke about different options for permanent residency in Australia. If you've not seen the video, the link will be somewhere on the top. You can check it out. In this video, we are going to talk about the points tested visas in that category and how you can calculate your points to see if you're eligible for permanent residency in Australia. I'll take you through the official website where you can calculate your points. Moving on to that part now, where you can calculate your points for permanent residency in Australia. These are some of the permanent points tested visas that we talked about in the earlier video. So more or less the parameters at which these points are calculated, they overlap. Just you are awarded extra points if you're in regional area, or if you are in a state, the state gives you 5 points extra. So we'll go through this category, which is for like the whole of Australia. It's called the skilled independent visa. So the first parameter is age. So which age band you fit into. Now the maximum points that you can get here is 30 points, and that will happen if you're in this range. If you are in the other range, your points get reduced by 5. So you get 25 if you're in this or in this range, and then even less if you're in this range. So let's say you are in this range, 25 to 33. The next one is the English language requirements. Now here also the maximum points that you can get is 20 points, and that's if you have IELTS 8 band in all 4, like listening, reading, writing and speaking, you get full 20 points. Now there is also an alternative exam. It's called the PT academic exam, similar to IELTS 8. Here you need to get a 79 plus in all those 4 categories. If you get that, you get 20 points. If you get less than that, you get 10 points and you fall in this category. The next parameter is a skilled employment experience. Now for your experience outside Australia, the maximum that you can get is 15 points, and that happens if you have at least 8 years of experience, and then further it gets reduced by 5. So here you get 10 and here you get 5. There's no points if you're less than 3 years, unfortunately. So let's say you are in this category, at least 3 but less than 5 years. The next one is Australian skilled employment, that is in Australia. Here also the maximum points that you can get is if you have at least 8 years of experience, but the points that you can get is 20 points. Now there's one more category here, at least 1 but less than 3 years. You don't get any points if you have less than 1 year. So you get 5 points here. Then further up like 10, 15 and here maximum 20. So let's say you are in this category. That's educational qualification. Now educational qualification also, the maximum that you can get is 20 points. If you have a doctorate degree, then it keeps reducing by 5. So if you have a doctorate degree, if not from an Australian educational institution, but an institution that's outside Australia, that's recognized here, you can get 20 points here. For a bachelor's degree from outside or from here, you get 15 points, and diploma or trade qualification gives you 10 points. So let's say you have a bachelor's degree. And now they have also given you the study requirement, like what is the study requirement that is accepted in Australia. So you can go through that as well. Now the next one is, do you have at least 1 degree or diploma from an Australian education institution that meets the study requirement? So the main point in the study requirement is, I think they need you to have 2 years at least of study, academic study. So let's say you don't have that. Now, do you have master's degree by research or a doctorate degree from an Australian education institution that included at least 2 academic years in a relevant field? Now, these are for international students who come here for their masters. So you can get 5 points in this category. Say you have claimed the point for this one. You came here to do your masters, you've got points for that. So you can say a yes in this category. The next one is a very unique category. It's a community language category. It's the NATI exam. NATI full form is this. It's basically a translation interpretation exam. So you have to translate from English to any community language that you're familiar in and back. So there are a list of community languages. So I did this exam in Hindi. There are other languages also that are there in the list. So you get 5 points if you pass this exam. The next one is study in regional Australia. Now, do you have at least one degree or qualification from an Australian institution in regional Australia? Now, regional Australia, as we discussed in the last video, are some postcodes that are away from the metropolitan cities. If you have studied there, you get extra 5 points. So, like if you did your master's from Australia, but you did in a regional area, you can get even more points for that. The next category is the partner skills. So here also you can get a maximum of 10 points. Suppose your spouse is an applicant and he can also get a skill assessment, means assessment of the skills that he is eligible in, then he can get 10 points. Or your partner is a citizen or permanent resident, then also you can get 10 points. Now there's this new addition to it, which was done, I think, a year and a half back, that even if you're single, that also gives you maximum points here, 10 points. Now, if you have a spouse who can get competent English, or like a competent English means he can score 6 across all bands, then you get 5 points in this category. So let's say you are single. Now, moving on to professional year in Australia. Now, after completing your master's, there is a program which gives you some professional skills of how to, perform in a workplace, how you can interact in a workplace, etc. So, if you do that professional year in a skilled program in Australia, you get 5 points. This is again relevant for international students who have that come here to pursue their masters, etc. So let's say you have that. So this is the point summary: age, English language, work experience outside Australia, etc. So your total points is like 110. Now this is I've put like extreme in all of these. That's why I'm coming to 110. So suppose I don't do this professional year in Australia, I've not done my masters also in Australia, so this will reduce further. Okay, so this is really good for students who have like come here for their masters. So it's really good for those students at the moment. I hope that will be helpful. I'll place the link to the official RIS website in the description section. You can have a look and calculate your points. Now, moving on to the moment of truth. Although the minimum points required for these points tested visas is really low, it's about 65, but the actual points at which these visas are being granted has been really high. In fact, it has been like that for the past 2-3 years. It's around 90-95 points, and it differs between different occupations as well. So you need to keep that in mind. Now, in the next video, I wish to cover some information for international students who are planning to come to Australia. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. The content shared in this video is based on personal experience and research. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe. Keep watching, keep listening, and continue learning.